Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan battle video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at the General Rildo, or the Hyper Meta-Rilldo, and his Extreme Z Awakening. Now this was a free-to-play, or is a free-to-play unit I should say, and he basically kind of spent a long time just being distinctly average. And it seems like they've decided to make him pretty solid. So he's a GT boss's lead of 77%. He raises attack and defense for 1 turn, causes supreme damage to the enemy, and lowers attack. Very nice for SBR and ESBR. In terms of his passive skill, he has attack and defense of 80%, plus an additional attack and defense of 20%, up to a max of 80% per GT boss's category ally on the team. So this is nice. It means you don't need a full GT boss's team, but you do kind of. Then an additional attack and defense of 80% when performing a super attack, and an additional key of 2 and attack of 40% when facing only one enemy. GT category or GT bosses category allies get key plus 2 and attack of 40%, which is pretty decent. His additional boost when performing a super attack is calculated separately. So he's got 296% attack and 224% defense when performing super attack. And if he's got an entire team of GT bosses, he's got 440% attack and 368% defense, which is pretty good. Obviously a lot of that's going to reflect after super because of the way the additional boosts are calculated. So although you may see, for example, 100k defense, he's actually going to have almost or just over 300k defense. So it's just important to keep that in mind. In terms of links, he's got Loyalty, Thirst for Conquest, Auto Regeneration, GT, Mechanical Menaces, Shocking Speed, and Sharing the Limit. And he's only on 3 categories: Artificial Life Forms, Terrifying Conquerors, and GT Bosses. Pretty much he's just a buff for GT Bosses, so it would be pretty foolish to say he's someone you're going to really rock on the other 2 teams. You could, in a tight situation, maybe you've got a more GT Bosses centric Artificial Life Forms or Terrifying Conquerors team. But generally speaking, he's going to really work best on a GT Bosses team. He shares not a lot of links with not a lot of units. Because his link set's pretty diverse, it's not the wildest. Here we've got him in a pretty good rotation. Linked up with Meta-Rilldo, they share 2 very strong links, his 2 best links. And yeah, he's looking pretty solid. We'll see a nice attack stat from him here. No real wild support on the rotation, I want to say. Nothing like crazy. He's not rocking like 100% support or anything like that. And yeah, generally he's looking pretty solid. A nice attack stat as well, over 3 mil. Very solid. So yeah, he's got the support obviously from the Meta-Rilldo, which I think is decent. So him and Meta-Rilldo do pair nicely in that respect. They're not really a combo you want to technically run together because unfortunately neither of them is really a first slot tank, but they both are great synergy pieces to a GT Bosses team. So GT Bosses actually has some very good supports. I think that's something that's very good. Like they have some very solid supports. So for me personally, I think GT Bosses just needs a little bit of tweaking and it should be okay as a team. Easy A, the AGL LR Baby Vegeta, get some more Easy A's out here, maybe to some more Super 17s. If they just added the Hellfighter 17s, they probably would have been sitting really good. But so we're sitting here pretty solid. We've got major links covered now, which is good. So Conquest GT, we even got Shattering the Limit because Baby has that as a link weirdly. And yeah, 3.2 million, which is very decent. You got to also factor in, he does have very solid defense after this, around 300k. He is debuffing the enemy as well, and he's also providing a 40% attack boost to the rest of the rotation, which is honestly very solid. So I think as a unit, I would say he's a good addition. GT Bosses is a weak team in a sense that it's got some heavy hitters and then got kind of like a very like not too great, kind of like team functionality. But to cut a long story short, to make it very straightforward, I think when you start to look at the team synergy wise, you can have a Mega Shenron linked to a Sin Shenron, one rotation. You can have Super 17 in the other rotation. If he can get a good linking partner, eventually like a Fusion Super 17 or something. And then you've got like the Rildos floating around as supports. I think you're starting to get a good synergy, and I think that's where Rildo really sees his best. He's not got a huge amount of links. He's got Thirst for Conquest, he's got GT, he's got the necessary links. Just basically make it so that he can function as a floating support, and I think that's what they've done well. As a unit, he gives 40% attack. It's very solid 2 key as well, which is also very good. He's not providing defense, but it's kind of the antithesis of the other Rildo. So between the two of them, you are getting a nice kind of functionality. He suits that floating second slot, as it just allows him to have his max defense when he takes on enemies. Overall, link-wise, Rildo, a bit difficult to work. Obviously GT, Thirst for Conquest, kind of his major links. He does have shocking speed, which I guess helps him out a little bit. And he does have Shattering the Limit, which again helps him out a little bit. But yeah, Mechanical Menaces, very difficult link to get going. Until they make like just a GT team, it's going to be super difficult for him to get Mechanical Menaces. And then Auto Regeneration is a cool link. You can get it on Terrifying Conquerors or Artificial Life Forms, obviously with other metal coolers. But then you run the risk of obviously losing some of his passive bonus. So it's not really a lot of sense to do that. Same with Loyalty. Like, Loyalty is a great link, but you're not really going to get it that often. Even though he can be on Terrifying Conquerors, he can be on Artificial Life Forms, his whole kit just screams that you want to run him on GT bosses. So it's really just not like something I think people can really kind of consider, at least for me. But yeah, overall, great unit, a good easy aim. I think he doesn't solve the GT bosses team, but he's definitely a step in the right direction. I think he makes it run a lot easier. I think he provides some necessary synergy for the team, and overall I think he will give even more fluidity to this team. But that's it from me. Bye.